The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Welcome to the show, the People Show, Hanging with the Boys. Hump Day. Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, Nate Newton, Shannon Gross, Chris Beam back on the ones and twos. And you're looking live at, we might lose Chris halfway through this show. You're looking live. Yeah, big cornhole tournament looks like set up out there.
I hate that word, but it's
cornhole used to mean something else when I was growing up.
for real.
It's changed.
I hate that word.
But you're looking live at Tostitos Championship Plaza outside Ford Center at the Star in Frisco, where the countdown clock is down to what? Is that say
11 days, 6 hours, 17 minutes, 57, 56, 55 seconds.
Till football, Cowboys football. Anyway, it is 94 degrees outside. It feels like 95. We are out of the hundreds for once. The low tonight
For a little while.
is 71. It actually felt decent last night. Nice. Make sure you go outside tonight and look at the blue supermoon. It's supposed to be some kind of
Last time was nice.
astrological anomaly. So go check it out. How you guys doing? We got cookies. Thank you, Kurt, for bringing the cookies.
I hope they meet your standards.
I hope so, too.
Wow,
we'll
man.
test them out here in a
Wow.
minute. Don't
If
be
you
afraid.
guys get it early enough, you can make all the adjustments you need, Jesse. Thank you. I love you. Bye-bye.
Timeout. I got a timeout. Chris got a timeout, right?
Timeout.
Yes, you can have a timeout. One timeout.
We got one timeout. We got a timeout.
Got a little present for our fearless leader over here.
Cookies. I already got a present. How could it get better than cookies?
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Thanks, Kurt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Open it up, man.
Nick swung that by earlier. Thank you, Nick.
Let's open it up.
Open that bad boy up.
All right. This will be great radio for people that can't watch.
Well, they should watch us on YouTube. They should go to
It's
YouTube
a
now.
golden black box.
It's a golden
black box.
Golden
what could
black
be,
box.
What could be
What
in
could be in
this?
a golden black box?
Wow.
Look at that.
Nice.
What you man? What he want that for? Man, he got a.
Yeah.
So for those of you
Take
not
the
able to
plastic
look
off.
at home, it's a 2023 Lone Star Regional Sports Emmy Award.
Wow.
Nice.
Way to go, Shan.
Sports branded
Way to go,
content.
man.
SeatGeek 2022 schedule release.
Oh, let me get in on that, man. Come on, Jet.
Shannon Gross, producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, we'll take it one after,
Yeah,
after
we'll
the
take a
show.
second.
Oh, man, get me now, man. Get me now. Send that out. Send that out, man. I told you I won one. He's just holding on to it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
get
So
me
that
now.
makes our show 3 Super Bowls,
Yes.
There you go.
an Emmy,
Yeah.
and Kurt an Emmy. Damn, I'm the only sucker in this. No, I'm playing.
But you missed the
But
4th and long.
Even I got
Ford and Long.
Even
Chris
Chris
got
an
an
Emmy.
You got robbed, by the way.
It's a. He won the Emmy.
Yeah.
So if somebody's gonna get robbed in our show. That just tells you the level of talent on our show.
That's right.
We have 2 Emmy winners.
Yeah.
We have 3. 'Cause we're gonna say Chris is a part of our show.
I have
Yep.
2.
Chris has 2.
Wow.
We have 2, for each of you. We have 3 Super Bowl rings. It's a talented damn group, man.
Yeah, man.
It's a talented group.
go.
That's why we're the People Show. We're a
People
talented
Show.
group, man.
Did you get a basketball national championship?
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
So I've gone down. Here we go rambling again.
Yeah.
We're not even gonna get to football.
This
I
is
mean,
our show.
it's one of the biggest days in
Yeah.
since
But you got an Emmy. So
the
that's,
season.
Hey, we got Trey Lance. Okay, let's go.
We cut a few dudes. We'll get to that in a minute. We traded one dude for another dude.
Dude, yeah,
So-
come on. Yeah.
All right. But I've gone down this rabbit hole recently of like trading cards. I did it when I was younger, when I was in college, and I got completely out of it. And then I started messing around with eBay to figure out how eBay worked. I listed some old sneakers just to know how selling worked. And then I got in. I'm really big into UFC, so I started like looking at autographed UFC cards, and next thing you know, now I've got like 40 outstanding orders of. Now I'm getting back. Now I'm looking at football stuff, and I'm like, you know what? One day I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna wish that I had something from. I never asked for a jersey. I never asked for anything signed. I'm like, but if I could pick up some cheap cards along the way of people that I worked with and people that I liked. So I was, looking at different stuff, and I was Googling you to see if they ever made it a card, and there was a beautiful picture of you after the national championship. It's autographs, and I almost bought it, but it was like $30. I was like, I'll go print
$30
one.
bucks.
Jesse to
I'm not
sign
worth
it.
$30. You've given more to the strippers in the strip
Oh
clubs.
yeah.
than that.
That's
I'm
where
not
you rank
worth
on my
$30.
list. Strippers, Jesse.
Strippers
All
who
of
sell
them.
him, all
Even
of the
the ugly
strippers, all of the
Jesse,
strippers
way back.
worldwide, $30 for a Jesse side autograph.
But I mean, I could print it out and bring it, and it would mean
you
more.
can watch strippers on TV for free, on your phone for free.
Who says I don't? Anyway, but it was an awesome picture. It was you standing there I think you were holding the net on the court, and you were smiling, and you were like, you were either looking up or looking down. You had this big smile on your face, and I'd seen pictures of you in your North Carolina uniform, but like seeing you do it, it was really cool.
Good, $30.
$30, man.
$30.
And you ain't get none of that money, are you?
No.
You got on the front end when you signed it, probably, unless it was some fan that just maybe, who knows. Anyway, all right, let's get back to football. Thank you, Kurt.
Let's just say I didn't have any ideas when I was in school. So
Oh, okay.
how you got things when you got things back there, back then, stays a mystery.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Unlike Nate.
Hey, bro, I love that story, man. I just, I didn't want to, get in on Jesse. Maybe he had something that he wanted to ramble on about, so I was just waiting. Jesse, anything you want to ramble about today?
The rambling this show on the Dallas Cowboys Network, hanging with the
Shots
boys.
today. They're just taking shots.
I'm just saying, though, is it anybody that got released that you felt, injustice was not,
Nope.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Were you shocked by anything?
Yes. That's
Shocked?
the question. Yes, that's what I should say.
Surprised.
I'll,
Couple guys they kept surprised
so
me.
the one guy that surprised me, I didn't think that Hunter Lipke.
Did he play himself onto the team
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
We talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
You can't really play yourself in or out. Like, I think he played himself into
I
a
think
spot.
that last preseason game, we talked about it on this show, that
Yeah.
last preseason game, and he made a push forward. A little surprised. I didn't think they were going to give up on Jabril Cox so soon. But
I was surprised.
But hindsight 2020, nothing's happened on this. This team was set. This team is a win now football team. Like, look at how this thing went. Like, outside of draft picks, they didn't really deviate from what they already went.
Plan. Looked like they had a plan.
To training camp. I mean, Dan Quinn, he's gotten every single dude that he's wanted on his defense. Three-headed monster in the back end with Hooker, Curse, and Wilson. He brought in another corner opposite of Trayvon Diggs. I mean, that was going to be there. Yeah. He had what he had up front. They were going to lose more guys than they were. Like, honestly, if you were a defensive player coming into the fold of the Dan Quinn defense, you kind of, because people are saying now, like, I thought Isaiah Landon was going to be able to stick with this team. And, but this defense was set. This team was pretty much set coming into training camp when you look at it. You had to kind of almost set yourself on fire and be able to play without getting burned to really impress the coaches to give up a jersey at that point in time. So am I shocked at anything? No. A little bit surprised by those two moves, but again, hindsight is 2020. This team was pretty much set heading into training camp of what it was going to be this year.
Yeah. Dependable. They kept all the guys that they thought were dependable, and I'm not saying the draft picks, but I'm saying dependable. Joseph wasn't dependable. Giving him a new look, bringing in a guy from Miami,
yes,
getting a new look. Just dependable guys that Jabril Cox became a little bit expendable when Overshown showed up. And even when this kid left, they didn't feel that he would be dependable. And this dependable is not about whether you was a bad character off the field. It was like, did you feel your role, and can you hold your end of the bargain? And I think with Coach Quinn this year, it's like, you know what, Bohannon, love you, but you've had 2 years to show us, can you hold down that run game? It hasn't happened. We brought in one guy, Chauncey Golston last year took that job during the playoffs. Remember the last two games, he was a better run defender playoffs, he was a better run defender. Then they went out and got Mozzie. Not saying that Mozzie's not going to – he's not been good. Not saying that he's not going to be good, but that was a first-round pick. Right. So that made Bohannon expendable. So I just think guys that know their role, cherish their role, more than what you're saying, Dan Quinn knew. If this guy do what I asked him to do, that's why Fowler is still here.
Yeah.
Because you do what I asked you to do, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, I think that the loss of – I guess yesterday hearing that Jabril Cox wasn't brought back wasn't a huge surprise because it had been coming up. You know, most of the writers sounded like he wasn't going to be back. But I was like you. I did think that was a little bit of a surprise in that they seemed so high on him. That was like the steal of the draft. You know, it was when they get him in the third round or something like that.
Yeah, third or fourth round, yeah.
And to see him now, and he chose not to sign with the Cowboys practice squad. He just signed with the Washington's practice squad. So he's looking for a whole new start.
I don't blame him. What you got to understand is even during the OTAs, we were saying Jabril Cox is our will linebacker. But the role that Coach Quinn saw him in, Overshown came and did it. That is the nickel starting linebacker. That is the dime starting linebacker when Curse is not slated to be there through scheme. So that was that guy. And Overshown came in and say, I'm that guy. So when Overshown got hurt, they're like, we like what this body type, this speed does. So they put Marquise Bell there. Yeah. So that still didn't bring Jabril back into play. Now, I don't know how did the knee slow him down? Is he not mentally ready or capable to do that? But whatever it was, he didn't show the coaches enough.
Yeah, one thing I read said it was physical. He had the speed, but maybe he wasn't as physical as they wanted their linebackers to be. I don't know. But you look back last year, I mean, they primarily only played two linebackers on the field. I think the only time a while back I looked, nearly every game they had two linebackers starting. It was either Parsons with an extra lineman, or Parsons was on the line. They had Clark.
Towards the end of the year.
Yes.
The thing about linebackers, safeties, they're like basketball. They're positionless, and if you're at 6'3", 245 pounds, you're starting to fit into that nickel because it's all about the nickel and it's all about the dime. Can you be big enough to help stop the run, and are you skilled enough to cover the field or to be able to lock down on it? Because in talking to Dan Quinn, what he liked about Bell, what he liked about Overshown is they could cover backs coming out of the backfield and they could lock up at certain times with tight ends. So when you have that type of mixture, that's positionless football.
I think one thing that it's not a surprise after training camp played out, but if you would have told me you're going to have two guys on this team that are 5'8" or under.
Yeah, true.
Like,
we beat it to death, man, Jess. We knocked it all around.
I would have been like,
that's what she said.
You want
which trailer park?
It was hump day.
RV one. I like the mobile.
Get back on the road. Get back on the road. You would have said those are gimmick plays or gadget guys.
Yeah.
And I think
I hate gadget guys.
Right. But if you look at those guys, like last year, you would have said Turpin is just a return specialist that maybe there's a gadget play here or there. And then if Deuce Vaughn, he's too small, he's going to be a 3 to 4 play guy.
Yeah.
But during camp, they played, man. They're players. Now, durability, we'll see if they get a lot of action if they're able to.
There's some DNPs next to some names.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I didn't think they would carry two really small.
Wasn't none of us shocked.
You know what? You called that.
What's that?
When you saw him at the table, you were like, he's all man. He's short man, but he's all man. Like because you weren't a big fan until you saw him in person.
And we all know it's dad.
That's the
right?
value of you going to camp right there. That was worth the show.
Somebody didn't show. He left his cell phone on the porch. Somebody left their cell phone on the porch. Can I get the reason why you didn't show up? And I'm telling everybody, hey, Jesse going to be on our show when he comes. Jesse going to be. Tell me why you didn't show.
I'll tell you off air.
Oh, okay. Okay, when you say that right there, it's something serious. Yeah.
And he smiled. So.
But I'm telling you, when I saw the dude sit at the table, it was so funny because I was just dogging the kid out, right? I was dogging the kid out. And so after practice, I come around, I said, Chris, who is that? He said, that's Deuce Vaughn. And I said the dumbest thing. I said, he a grown man. To me, when I said, that was dumb. He is a grown man. And I say, he looks like a full-grown man, big like me. Then I looked at his calves. When he got up, I looked at his calves. Just the same size as mine, or probably bigger, because I ain't developed no more like he is. But anyway.
Full-grown man. There you go.
And that's when I started
the
changing,
roster.
Jess. That's when I started saying, Jess, let's let this play out. let's let this play out. Wow, that was dumb when I said that. He's a man. He's
a real man.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, Kurt has a great note here. You now have 6 picks from just 2 years ago, the draft, that are not on the roster. And it was, 11 picks total in that draft?
Yeah, 11 picks total.
So is that... can you...
3 of those are linemen, right?
No.
2021 class took a hit this year.
That's about right. We always say the draft is what? It's a 50-50 crapshoot,
Yeah.
right? So if you got 11
And you don't
picks,
know for 4 years whether it's a good draft? This is year,
Three?
Three? Yeah.
You know, if you got 11 picks, if 5 of them are still left, you're flirting around that 50-50.
Yeah.
But can you say that just based on Micah in that draft, hitting on that,
it helps.
Can you say that was a successful draft, even though you got 50%
Nobody
of
else
them
does
already
anything.
It's like, okay, to your point, right? You're into the cards, right? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times, and I'm not a card expert, but I watched enough cards on YouTube and stuff like that. You'll spend an absorbent amount of money on cards hoping to get the mother load.
Right.
And so how many times have you gone through packs and packs of, and boxes of cards?
The odds don't make sense.
It doesn't make sense until you hit. Right? Until you hit and you find the Michael Jordan rookie, and then you go, I just made $50,000. Yeah. So you spending 10 over the last couple of years, it makes sense. Same thing with the draft. We're going to expend these these finances and these draft picks, and the mother load was getting Micah Parsons. You got a generational talent that will transcend football for the next 8 years, let's just say, right? The time he's been there 2 years, his third year, 8 more years, and he'll probably, if he continues on this trajectory, he'll have a gold jacket at some point in time. Mm-hmm. If you can get one of those in your draft class, it supersedes everything else that you may have had in there.
If you get one of those every 3 draft classes, you're doing pretty good.
Hey, so who are these class guys that got cut?
So, Kelvin Joseph got traded.
That's a cut.
Yeah.
Because they were going to cut him anyway.
Yeah. And then you got Jabril Cox, Josh Ball, who's on IR, but he doesn't seem like he's going to work out. Simi Fehoko.
Simi.
Bahana, and Farniok, who I thought it sounds Michael Gallup, I think, from the Dallas Morning News. Doesn't sound like they're even bringing him back to the practice squad. Yeah. So, which is surprising. So that leaves, you got Parsons still, Odigizua, he's been a solid starter. Chauncey Golston, he seems to be becoming a solid backup. Yeah,
I'm telling you, that's what they like about him.
Yeah, and then
he's dependable.
Deshaun Wright, who's still kind of he's hurt now, but he's kind of on the fence. And then Mukwamu has proven that he's starting to come on as a depth guy. So
is that how you say his last name?
I don't
Mukwamu.
I'll apologize. That's my boy.
I didn't know.
Get on one person.
I ain't never heard him mess up a name, so I'm like, maybe you got it right.
I called Sean McKeon the other day, and Jesse almost came across the table and said, "Good, come on."
We don't get on Kurt about names. We get on everybody else about names. Especially this one.
Yeah, I was gonna say Nate.
I'm gonna tell it right
historically.
Here. I ain't messed up dependable. If you ain't dependable, you ain't here. Yeah, I ain't messed up that.
All right, let's take a break. One guy we haven't really talked about that's coming back right after this break.
Wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
Teasing.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a die-hard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the show. Hanging with the Boys, presented by Wingstop each and every day. Where flavor gets its wings. And the second segment of the show each and every day, brought to you by blockchain.com. And we are still in the brand new. How long is something brand new for? Because it probably goes to pristine, to brand new, to new.
When people start spilling stuff over it, like
when you come in
here and there's
not
stains
cleaning
on there,
it up.
Yeah, it's no longer new.
It's something
on the
scratched
floor or something like that. Yeah,
one of these banners falls off and Chris doesn't fix it.
A light's flickering or something,
and they don't get on it right away.
You wouldn't believe what they went through just to pick out photos for this place.
Oh my
it was
God,
quite the process of
probably
making
took months.
Yeah, making sure they had the right guys and this and that.
Yeah, the brand new SWBC podcast studio, and it is nice. For those of you that haven't seen visually the show since we moved in here, it is really nice.
We got all the lights on. Normally we don't have all the lights on. We got them on today.
And the banners are interchangeable. So like Chris can hit a button and swap these out.
You want me to hit a button for you?
Yeah, hit a button. Can you see it on camera?
Yes. Let me see.
Behind me.
Behind you. Okay.
Yeah.
So here you go.
All right, here we
I'll
go.
hit this button real quick.
So right now it's the triplets. Chris is hitting a button.
I'm gonna hit a button,
and it's gonna be drum roll.
Hold on a second.
Can't go wrong with the triplets, right? Oh, here we go.
Oh no, we're going behind Larry Allen.
Sorry.
Larry Allen. Go ahead on. Let it go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, let it go.
Very cool.
And get behind Jesse.
Okay, hold on a second.
That's a cool picture.
Hold on a second.
Who designed those, Kurt? Do you know?
I know Michael was involved quite a bit with
And
them.
there's that one.
There was a lot
So
of
that's
people.
that one. So I'll bring that one up. Hold on a second.
It's great podcasting, by the way.
Hold on a second.
Here we go.
There we go.
Here comes the next one. There you go.
We got what? Dak, Zach, and CeeDee.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go up on that one.
There we go.
Next we'll have Trey Lance up there.
There you go.
that?
Out at practice.
Don't need that.
Did you see the pictures? Wearing number 15.
Didn't I tell y'all? Freaky Mike said, "Boy, I sure missing for me some Will Grill."
And
Yeah, he was all about bringing him back if he would
Sure
have made
missing
it.
me some Will
behind you,
Grill,
Shannon.
baby.
Signed with Cincinnati, right?
Practice
Yeah.
squad.
Yeah, practice squad.
So there you go.
And there we go. Bob Hayes.
They're my boy.
Dion.
They're my boy. Florida boys. Them Florida
How's your
boys.
boy doing, by the way?
Oh,
He
I talked to him
go?
yesterday. He ready to go.
He ready to go?
He told me, "Tell you don't let him get up." He said, "Don't let me get up. I'm put my foot on his neck or what's left of it."
Dude, I can see him if he gets a chance.
Yeah.
These poor little colleges that are just playing him to get a check.
He's in
At
town
70.
this weekend, isn't he?
Yeah,
You gonna go
man.
see him?
Yeah, I won't be able. No, I'll be in Canton. I had a prior commitment to the Black College Hall of Fame. I'm like, brothers, I just don't know.
Who are they
almost
playing?
canceled on
TCU.
It's a big game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a way to start off. Like, let's see where we're at. It's a good measuring stick game.
But you know what? The first thing I always ask a person about in football, coaches, whatever, how's your offensive line? You know what he told me?
What?
Depth. Even in the college game. Parents, if you have a fat kid hanging around and he's pretty tall and big, work on his feet and hands. Because it's a lot of money to be made for kids that got some feet, that got some size, and willing to work a little bit.
At least a free education.
For real. No, bro. they getting paid in college. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
yeah. So I'm telling you, more than ever, when they took these kids and took their hand out of the dirt, out of a 3-point stance into a 2-point stance, it became about hands and not feet and not leverage. And if you got a kid that's got any grit about him, any meanness about him, he could be something special. And I hate to promote that type of stuff, but your kid can make some money.
There you go.
College and in pros.
From one of the best to ever do it. Teach your kids footwork.
Yes, footwork,
hands.
man. How big was footwork at North Carolina basketball? How big was it?
Oh, I mean,
it was everything, man.
You know, every sport starts with footwork.
Yeah,
You think
almost
about it.
every sport.
Boxing, NFL, no matter what position.
Foundation.
Yep. Baseball, you got to have good feet.
Foundation.
Yeah. It's a great point, Nate. Knowledge. That's all. Bringing all the knowledge today.
Randomness and knowledge. That's what we do.
Random knowledge. There you go. Might be a segment this year. Might be a whole segment this year.
along with the Vice.
Yeah, that's a whole show.
I think he just made. By the time the end of the year, we had like 15 things we should have done on the show. One thing we can't have is gambling.
Nope, no gambling. We
No
would never
gambling.
gamble on this show. One guy that's coming back that we really haven't talked about in camp that much, and was kind of, I guess, up in the air whether he was going to start the season on PUP or miss a game or 2 or 4 or 6 or whatever. It sounds like he's back. Is Jourdan Lewis?
He may not be back week 1, but I think a PUP they have to miss 4 games, so they're expecting him to be back before then.
And I'm gonna say this, and you know, we talked to him. You always see when you see Britt Brown.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that's over all rehab. I walked up to him and asked him about Gallup. I got cussed out for the world. He wasn't mad at me, but he cussed me out because he wanted everybody to know that Gallup came back early last year because he wanted to help the team. This kid is coming back early, Lewis, because he wanted to help the team. But Brett told me to tell y'all, the kid is 100% healthy. Mm-hmm. He has been cleared to play. And it will be a mental and physical adjustment. Now, next year, I ain't getting cussed out for y'all. All right? Okay? I mean, when he got through with me, I'm like, wow. Man, wow. I felt bad. I almost went over there and started talking to Charles Haley, but that would have been even worse.
Thanks for taking one for the show, Dave.
Yeah, I took one for the world because, we was what's wrong with Michael Gallup? And nothing wrong. I'm glad he threw it.
Are we going to see that same kind of thing now from Jourdan Lewis? Like
each player is so different, man.
It's going to be a kind of step
different
behind
injury
this year.
Different injury, right? We're talking about Michael Gallup having the ACL and him having the Liz Frank injury.
Yeah, they were saying it almost like more than just that. Like he broke his foot, like crushed. It was worse than just a Liz Frank.
Oh, well.
But they say when it's a foot injury like that, like with most major injuries, but they say you really have to have an over the top attitude, and they say Jourdan Lewis he can't be denied attitude. Like I'm the man. If this can happen to anybody and bounce back, I'm that man. So that's Coach Al Harris told me. Like he's got that over the top attitude. So and Coach Al like, yeah, I want him back. He told me that during training camp. I'm like, Jourdan Lewis may not. I want him back.
But as a receiver cornerback, though, is it going to be hard for him? Like we saw with, again, different injury, but like we saw with Gallup, is it going to take him a while to?
I think the difference between Gallup and Jourdan, like if you just take a moment and look back what the Cowboys marched out there last year at wide receiver, a guy now who's even no longer here, Dennis Houston, who just signed to someone's practice squad, I forget who it was, the Giants, I think it was. He was your starting receiver, right? We held out this hope that James Washington, when he was going to come back, that he was going to help this group out. And then you had Noah Brown. Like these are the guys, Noah Brown, James Washington, Dennis Houston, CeeDee Lamb. And so when Michael Gallup comes back into that mix, there's an amount that's put on his shoulders to kind of help elevate this group some way, shape, or form. The difference I believe, with Jourdan Lewis is the world is not put on his shoulders. because of you already have your two outside starters.
Yes, sir.
You have Gilmore and you have Diggs, and then now you developed and grew Bland.
Yes.
And you got guys like Israel Mukwamu who's playing some little bit. So when he plays, he can kind of play in spurts, right? You're not pulling the load of, hey, bro, you have to now hold this whole side down. Yeah. Michael Gallup had to hold the whole number 2 spot down in a world because of the guys that he had around him were booty juice, right? It was Gucci juice. And so for Jourdan Lewis, it's more so of we can ease him back into the mix. We can kind of give him, 10, 15 snaps here and there, some outside, some inside. Pray and hope that you don't lose anybody to injury throughout, that early part of the year. To Nate's point, those 4 preseason games at the beginning of the year.
That's what they finna play.
And then, once you feel like he's back, confident-wise, physically-wise, because there's some physicalness that he has to get into, tackling again, moving, trusting it, and getting his feet wet. But once you feel he's done that, then you can add a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Michael Gallup didn't have that luxury. He went from being out to now you got to be in, and you got to be all the way in because we need something out there to go with CeeDee Lamb at the wide receiver position.
Jesse, you took a lot of heat last year on Noah Brown. You took a lot of heat especially from me. I listened to what is the boys down south, the
Texans.
Houston Texans. That's who he signed with, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had a preseason game on the radio. I'm traveling down the road, and I'm like, man, let me just listen. They say Noah's in the game, and they said at least 3 times. Noah Brown got to catch that ball. If he gonna be the player we think he is, yeah. Hey, Noah Brown, wish he had that one back. 3 passes. I'm like, is the quarterback throwing it out of his radius because because the way the announcer was doing it was, I don't know if he was putting it on Noah because the quarterback was bad or Noah dropped 3 balls straight out. And I said, Jesse said he was a 3rd receiver, maybe a 4th, and he down there. And this preseason, bro, and I'm like, you can't drop balls. You can't drop balls, man.
That just shows you the way, especially offensively with the Cowboys. Like Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, Washington, Tolbert, Houston.
Yeah.
Washington got cut again.
Yeah. I knew that was going to happen. They was trying to tell everybody, me he was getting ready to be the next best thing since sliced bread. But then they've upgraded so significantly with Brandin Cooks, with Tolbert taking that next step.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now the pressure isn't on Michael Gallup. I'm not saying that he's going to be this next world beater, but the pressure on him to be everything for this offense is no longer there.
Right.
Like you fall so far down the totem pole now where you almost
be yourself.
Yeah, you don't have to go out there and do everything. You got guys. You can go back to kind of honestly going back to being what you do well. 50-50 balls and some red zone stuff like that. Where we don't need you to go out there and be the route runner because we got 2 of those guys in Tolbert and Cooks to go alongside.
What's a real
CeeDee Lamb
expectation, a realistic expectation for Cooks this year?
Oh, man,
stat wise,
1,000 yards.
Yeah, I think 1,000.
You're expecting 1,000. What are you expecting out of CD? 12, 15,
16.
16.
Honestly, CD has to take the next step. If he wants to be in the conversation of the Tyreek Hills,
top 5
the
guys,
Justin Jeffersons, like those guys,
go get those.
Got to have 1,600.
CD, forgive me. Because I love you, and I'm always patting him on his back and trying to pump him up. But, bro, you know how bad them dudes is you talking about?
I know.
You know? And I'm not saying CD can't get there, because if he do, boy, you talking about I'm going to be excited. But, man, if Tyreek Hill walking here right now, this dude's so quick till we can blank and he'll be gone.
I'll tell you this.
I'm telling you, man.
If CD has 1,600 yards, one of 2 things is happening. Dak's putting up 500 yards a game, or Brandin Cooks fell off the end of the world, and he's got lost, and we don't know where he's at.
Think so? Ooh.
1,600, Jess. That's a lot.
1,600 for him, and then 1,000 for Cooks, and then what you giving Gallup and?
But he just told you.
Those
This
guys
Gallup
get
just
400
beat.
yards,
Yeah.
400. That's it.
See,
Bruh.
You think Gallup?
I'm serious. I'm with you, Jess. I'm with you. He don't have to go over the top. He do not.
Especially if you're adding now. If you're going to add what you guys have been advocating for, if you're going to add Lil Man to the mix. If you're going to add Lil Grown Man to the mix, he going to get 200-300.
Lil Grown Man, that's his name.
Lil Grown Man.
If you're going to add Lil Grown Man to the mix, right? If y'all add him to the mix, everyone wants to make him the next Darren Sproles. Kurt looked it up for us 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Sproles, his first couple of years in San Diego, behind LaDainian Tomlinson.
That's behind LaDainian, though.
I'm just...
He only behind
Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard.
He's only behind Donald.
You forget about that because Pollard's good out of the backfield too.
That's what I'm saying. So those yards are not being divvied up now. Again, the bulk of it doesn't have to go on the shoulders of Michael Gallup.
I'm with you.
CeeDee should be the dominant dude that he is.
All right.
15, 16, 100 yards, 10, 12 touchdowns.
What CeeDee have last year, Kurt? Pull that up while we're
1,100.
Yeah, it wasn't.
I lost a bet to Jeff Kavanaugh. 1,100.
Man,
I think he had like 1179 or something like that.
I tell folks, man, when you can consistently get over 1,300 yards and 10 to 12 TDs a year, when the people say he good, we know what he gonna do.
Yeah,
you a different dude, bro.
1359. So he had 1,300 yards last year.
And that's with a banged up thing. How's it gonna go like you're talking
that's
this year?
That's with Dak missing 5 games.
He just needs another 250 and he's there.
That's what I'm saying.
That was a sneaky.
How many touchdowns did he get?
9.
He need 9 to 12 is where you got to be in that mix. 15 to 1,700 yards put you in the conversation with Chase,
the top 5s,
Jamar Chase and
pull
Jefferson
up the top 5 receivers,
Hill,
big dog.
Devontae.
Yeah, where did he rank last year in those numbers?
Let me see.
Man,
that's neat.
Is he like that though, Jess? Jess I need to know.
To your point,
6 in yards.
We might have to get here quick. To your point, I had the same when we had practice out here the other day.
Right.
The way you looked at Deuce, we look at things differently, right? We look at things because I looked at CeeDee Lamb and I said, damn, like that's a man.
Yeah.
Like I looked at CeeDee and I was like, man,
he built different.
He's filling out.
Yeah.
I looked at his legs, his calf. I sweat. Go listen to my pod. I said to them, I said, look at his legs.
Yes.
Like, man, his calves is thick.
Because he used to be skinny.
Right. I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh, he's entering that. We call that man. That he's entering that man where he's beginning to feel. And I was staring at him. I was like, damn, look at CeeDee. Like
he probably shake your hand different now.
I'm like, he's thick. I'm like, not like how Ryan Clark, not like Ryan Clark called Tua thick, like a stripper.
Right.
No. But he's feeling. I looked him up and down. I was like, dog, CeeDee is a. And then I watched him run. He ain't as fast as Brandin Cooks.
Right.
But he's fast.
So,
but it's
Cooks
power.
is faster.
Yeah.
Ooh, really?
Come on, bro.
I can't wait. I cannot
Hey,
wait.
man,
Like,
you
when
ain't
you
been to a
watch
practice?
Cooks-
You ain't been to?
When you watch Cooks, like on TV and stuff like that, you see him running. Until you're up close to it and seeing it, he is floating.
Really?
And then I watched CeeDee and I was like, CeeDee got power behind his speed. It's like a lot of yak is coming. A lot of yak yards are coming for CeeDee Lamb.
I can't wait.
I'm telling you. So, yeah.
Why does it take? Let's go to break. I'm going to ask Jesse and Nate a male anatomy question when we come back on the last segment.
We hanging with the boys, so hey.
Hanging with the boys. Let it all hang out. Let's go. Be right back.
Yeah.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they make just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
James Wright here, your 2022 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year. You know how much I love my Cowboys, and I am thrilled to be talking to you about the 2023 Fan of the Year award presented by Captain Morgan. We're looking for the ultimate Cowboys fan to spice up the game. That means you eat, sleep, and breathe the Dallas Cowboys. If that's you, or if you know someone like me, then go to DallasCowboys.com/fan of the year, and you could win tickets to Super Bowl 58 and so much more. Enter today.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the show, Hanging with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings each and every day. And the last segment of the show, each and every day, is presented by Jigsaw, the official dating app of the Dallas Cowboys. What better way to segue to talk about the male anatomy than a dating app, right? My question is, does it, CeeDee, this is CeeDee's what, 4th year?
Yes, sir. Grown man year.
It seems like after about year 3 that athletes' bodies change. Like they're, like you said, you
start
go from
filling out.
You start getting thicker. You get a little bit. Your skin gets a little harder. You notice how I corrected that. Your skin looks a little tighter and harder. Yeah, I caught myself. But I mean, you start building. Man, you make fun of like old men strength. Like dads have that strength when they like. Your teenage kid can never whoop your butt until they get, out of college, and But it's like, is that just a byproduct of your body getting to a certain point and then being on a really good workout program with the right nutrition and right supplements? Because I mean, I would think you have nowadays nutritionists in college have the same information and the same resources that you do in the pros. But what is it about that 3rd or 4th year that guys, even linebackers and defensive linemen tend to fill out and get, a little, I guess, bulkier? What is it about that? Is that just a natural progression?
This in the real world too. Mm-hmm. Any guy, a young lady that cares a little bit about their bodies, you just from the age from maybe 24 to maybe about 30. Your body's just pumping itself up. It's maturing. And if you just, like I said, if you have any type care about what you eat or how you act, even in your life, because a lot of people start, back in the day, even started getting married around 25, 26, trying to have families into their careers. But
go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
No. I was telling you to bring your mic closer to
talk to your mic.
Okay. Thanks, Chris.
I was trying to say it without saying it.
But you went to. I'm like you want me to throw it to you. I'm like you need it. But now I'm gonna throw it to you now because you chomping at the bit now. I can see that. No.
You backed away back here.
Okay.
And I was like, just bring the mic closer.
Okay.
Because you was hitting
I'm good.
The point. My question I was going to ask you, as someone who has you watch your baby Trey, right? You watched him kind of mature, and. Was it around the same age you kind of saw him?
Yes. I mean, he gave up his senior year because of the concussions. But I'm talking about as a man. You look at him now, he's 32, I think, 31, and he's different. And I watched him maybe about 24, different because he continued to work out. I'm like, wow, my baby boy. And even when you shake the hand, and when they look in your eyes, I mean, the confidence grows if you're around the right people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And CeeDee is around the right people. Yeah. And
so, you probably have to figure out what works for you, what doesn't. That probably takes a couple of years because, you do the research and you're told this, but then when you start experimenting, then you're like, oh, this works for me a little bit better.
Yeah, and honestly, this is the around the time where you begin to have that we hear it all the time, right? About becoming a professional. Like,
yes.
I promise you, the rookies, the first year guys, they not listening to none of that.
Yeah.
Like,
They're having fun, bro.
You're having fun. I'm outside.
I know my body better than anybody
I'm
else.
outside. I don't need no sleep. I'm good. And then by the year 3, year 4, now you've kind of been around for a little bit, and you're like, wait a second now. Things, okay, now I got a chef.
That guy's been around a while. Let me ask him what he's doing. Yeah.
And so
you're not indestructible anymore, right?
The maturity starts to develop and starts to shape form, and you can see it. And I was looking at, I felt like how Nate felt. I'm looking at I'm watching all these men walk on the football field, and I'm saying to myself, thank God I don't have to play anymore. Like, thank God, because these jokers is built different. And then I watched CeeDee come out, and I don't know if all men do it. I think maybe I do it because the athlete in me still lives.
Right.
I always size myself up against, look at somebody and be like, you know what? All right, cool. All right, where am I at against this? And I'm looking at CeeDee, and I'm just like, dude, built different. And you can just see it. I can't explain it. It's just God or whatever, genetics, and he's his frame.
He ain't that kid. You go back and get a picture of him when he got off that plane from Oklahoma or wherever, and look at him now. He's a different cat. He's a different cat.
I watched him get on the field, and I'm watching him run these routes, and I'm just like, I got excited because I'm like, if what I'm seeing from him physically can continue to match what he is athletically, oh boy. 1,700 yards is not a far-fetched scenario. When you think about, here's what he was doing.
Oh, now it's 17 now? It went from 16 to 17?
I'm just the legend grows.
Let's
you know
go.
what I'm saying?
So excited.
As you get more excited, it grows.
I'm so excited.
The thing about it is,
by the end of the
that
show,
same
he had
practice,
2,000 yards.
That same practice me and Jess was at. CeeDee, he don't like nobody touching him. That's just who he is. But I seen him in this practice for the first time take a hit, bow, right before he caught the ball. And he still caught the ball. And he just looked at the dude. You could have got to see a year ago, 2 years ago, CeeDee would have been raising Cain. He'd have been looking at the ref like, the coach, but he just tossed the ball like, whoa, that's a little bit different than the CeeDee that I saw a couple of years ago. Now, he always liked to get physical in the air. He liked to make the acrobatic catches over you. But you come up and hit him at the same time that ball coming, he used to raise a little cane. He just walked away. I like, whoa, that's different.
Definitely got a little football horny watching him. I did. I am not going to lie. I did.
Boy, all this talk about men's anatomy and football horny.
Let's get to the game.
so
You know what I'm
ready.
saying? I'm ready.
Okay,
can't believe we gotta wait.
what rock band you want to talk about that get you that way? You want to talk about Journey,
No,
Florida?
Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys.
Boston, who you want to talk about?
Did you go to any Metallica shows?
No, I didn't. I saw him last time through.
Okay.
Oh, man. Speaking of, I ran into your son at the coffee shop the other day.
Yeah?
He came up, said hi to me. He looking more and more like Chris Paul every day, and he walks just like you.
Yeah,
he got that bow-legged, that kind of booty. Stick
my
that
boy
booty
be young
out.
though. He can bend his knees. I can't bend mine. My baby young.
When he was walking,
I used to be
like, I turned around and looked. I was like, damn, I look just like Nate. Just the same speed and everything.
And my boy, man, I was like, oh man, you should. I look at his mom like, you sure somebody visit?
You can't deny that one.
No, that's all you.
But the way he looked like the Chris Paul.
He looked just like Chris Paul.
Like
he walked up because when you're not used to seeing somebody in an environment where you meet them or you're usually around them, it takes a minute to like, oh yeah, that. He walked up. He's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, damn, Chris Paul. And I was like, I was like, damn, that's Nate's son. Yeah, he's on the show. That's Trey.
Yeah,
right.
Trey Newton.
All right, before we get out of here, fellas, Nick Eatman has a show. If you have not tuned in, he takes fan calls, and does he do texts on the show too,
Think
Chris?
so.
Oh yeah, he texting up now.
Yeah,
Twitter, he'll take Twitter questions.
Yeah, it's coming up next. So if you want someone with a breadth of knowledge of the Cowboys
Did that come from upstairs?
Huh?
Did that call come from upstairs?
Nah, Chris just said, "Hey, kick in on the show." So
make sure Nick
Stop.
Make sure Nick even talking about. No, I'm messing with you. Nick's my guy. I love Nick. Like
he has a photographic memory.
We worked on
the Cowboys.
Amazing.
Yeah, Nick worked on our Deep Blue. So that was a fun time working with Nick during that time.
Yeah,
He knows.
He got another.
Nicholas.
He did. Y'all racked up with the Emmys.
Yeah,
that was a sweet. They did a photo. They did a.
Where's that picture?
It was in the foyer, right?
Yeah, they did out here in the lobby.
Where's it at? I haven't seen. I heard about it.
It looks good. That was pretty
you know
dope.
what? I don't know who. Maybe Derek posted it.
Do we need to get off so Nick can get on, or we need to continue to talk?
I don't know. If he was out in the hall, he would be looking in here with steam coming out of his nose.
I didn't ask you. Today is Mental Health Wednesday. Your mentals and dentals are good? I didn't ask.
2 still jacked up, but yeah, mental, I'm great.
Yuck mouth.
As I gnaw on this cookie.
As you eat the sweets. Nate.
Come on, man. Get your mentals and dentals right. Come on, man.
My mentals are good. My
Mentals and dentals good?
Yeah, this dude making my mental good.
Kurt. Kurt.
I'm kicking along.
All right, man. Mentals and dentals are good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I go see.
You got past the
I go see Dr.
guy
J
thing.
today.
The what?
The guy thing, talking about
The anatomies.
the anatomies.
Hey, it's a good conversation. I love it.
Thickness.
How about you?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I go as soon as we leave here. I'm going to see my therapist. Let's go.
Good.
So
How often you go?
Every week.
Do you?
Yeah, every Wednesday, 3:00.
Helps, doesn't it?
I love it.
Just to vent.
Just to vent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go in there. He'd be like, "So what do you want?" Like he'll have something we want to talk about, but I'll come in. I'm like, "Hey, before we start,"
Kind of like the show.
100%. And
Next thing you know, an hour later, you're like, "Damn, we didn't talk about anything."
Yeah, but it's all good. But I'm like, I pay for that. I pay for that moment of just coming in today. I want to talk about what I want to talk about. Huh?
Believe me, Jesse found a way to write it off.
Oh, 100%.
And how often do you get your feet taken care of these days?
Every other week.
Every other week, baby.
I got to start doing that again.
I gotta try that.
Yeah.
Y'all keep
We're going to go as a group.
100. We're not going anywhere. You won't go to the dentist to get a tooth that's been
No,
hurt
I'll go get my
for
feet worked
six
on.
years.
I'll go get my feet worked on. I have sensitive feet though, but I'll go get
ticklish?
When
Grown man ticklish?
I can barely when they if I have to leave the calluses on because I used to run, and if I get the calluses scruffed off, the next time I ran, my
Used
feet
to
would
run.
Yeah, I'm so out of.
So what's the excuse now?
He's a child.
Just a child. You're
107 degrees, and I have a kid that I run after. So
Exactly.
But I started getting back into some cardio.
Are you ticklish?
No running.
I can be. Get me in the right place.
Oh, you want to kick the man or the woman that's working on your feet? If they
Get loose.
Don't
You
go
tickle
there.
the goose.
Look at Kurt get
Don't
red.
go
Made
there.
Kurt blush. We're going to go as a group. All right, we got to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in to
Tickle
Nick's show
Kurt
after
the
this called Cowboys Storylines. We will be back
Oh man.
Friday. Who's in studio Friday? Who's here? Jesse?
Nah, we
Jesse
gotta talk
and-
about that.
Maybe Jesse and Kurt. Tune in Friday to see if there's a show. If not,
See if it's the goose scratch.
we're back, what, Tuesday every day? Starting
Yes.
Tuesday?
Tuesday every day.
Off on
Tuesday every
Monday,
day.
off on
1 o'clock.
maybe off on Friday.
Nah.
Daily next week starting
Unfiltered
Tuesday.
with Jesse Holly hanging with the boys edition.
There you go, solo. All right, tune in next week. Football's gonna be back, baby.
New York Giants.
Whoa.
Let's go.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?